Shocking revelation on the chief of staff to the president, that is Gbajabiamila. Now, the presidency says it is investigating allegations that the office of the chief of staff to the president, Femi Gbajabiamila, approved 3 billion naira for verification of the National Social Register. I repeat, verification of the National Social Register. The development follows a leaked memo dated December 18, 2023, allegedly from the office of the Chief of Staff to the President, indicating the approval of 3 billion naira to verify the National Social Register under ex-President Muhammadu Buhari's administration. Although Gbajabiamila is yet to respond officially to the leaked memo, a statement from Bayo Nanuga, the special advisor to the President on Information and Strategy, confirmed that Tinubu approved the release of the 3 billion naira. He stated that the president had given an extant directive to the Economic Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, for a total investigation into the financial misappropriation in the humanitarian ministry under the now suspended Betta Edu. The president has directed the EFCC to investigate the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, and all these matters are under investigation already. I am sure that the EFCC has seen that memo from the office of the Chief of Staff and is doing something about these findings. Let us allow them to do their work. Let us not double investigate the same issue or engage in a media trial on an issue under investigation. Nigerians should exercise patience. When the EFCC is done with their findings, they will tender their report to the president, who will then act on the results of the investigation. Recall that President Bola Tinubu suspended Betta Edu over her alleged involvement in a 585 million naira fraud. The Betta Edu corruption scandal has opened a lot of worms, a can of worms. Femi Gbajabiamila was earlier fingered in the whole corruption case. 3 billion naira for social register. What are they trying to verify with 3 billion naira? Nigerians sat down there and they approved billions of naira to just renovate or build an office for a vice president or the chief of staff. They bought cars in the millions. Nothing happened. And with this current revelation, it is very evident that the chief of staff is in a big mess. All eyes on the president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, on what he will do in this matter. Would he allow the security agencies do their job? It is also heard that in the leaked memo, the president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, approved the 3 billion naira to verify the National Social Register. What am I thinking? Is it that this is an avenue to make money, to loot the country blind? Somebody said, that is P2B, said that the humanitarian ministry may have been created to loot the Nigerian treasury. No wonder we have a lot of scandals here and there. This is a well-calculated effort, calculated scheme to loot money officially from the Nigerian treasury. I believe the clash in the humanitarian ministry is helping us to get this exclusive information about the corruption that is going on. Imagine the chief of staff to the president emerged in a corruption scandal of 3 billion naira from the humanitarian ministry. Now, what will be said of this? The closest person to the president is alleged to be corrupt, and this corruption scandal should be one thing that will scare Nigerians about those that are handling power and that are in charge of the nation's treasury. It is so scary that these people are in charge, have the keys of our revenue as a nation. This is risky because if they continue like this, they are going to steal the country blind. It is not up to a year we are hearing of 44 billion naira transferred in 5 days, 3 billion naira this, 3 billion naira that, in just one ministry, humanitarian ministry. Then what about other ministries? That means every day, probably in Nigeria, 100 billion naira will be looted, despite the fact that we are borrowing to pay debt. We are having deficits in our budget. We are saying we don't have money, while some people have access to take billions of naira from the country's national treasury. Now on Twitter, we have the caption as Gbaja fraud. Gbaja fraud is going viral on Twitter, and let's look at reactions. We have Abdul Majid Lawan, who says allegations of corruption against the chief of staff has raised concerns about potential misconduct within the highest levels of government. The accusations, yet to be substantiated, demands a thorough and impartial investigation to determine the veracity of the claims. Also, Saint on Twitter says Femi Gbajabiamila bought a G-Wagon for his wife and said he has been saving the money for years because we be mumu where he fit lie. It is clear now where he got the money from. Also, moving on, we have Nigerians asking that Gbajabiamila should be investigated and also prosecuted. On Twitter, they have demanded the probe of the chief of staff, Femi Gbajabiamila, over 3 billion naira National Social Register alleged fraud using #Gbaja fraud. Twitter is active on this Gbaja issue. Now, Gbajabiamila revealed that President Bola Tinubu approved the release of 3 billion naira to verify the National Social Register under the former administration of Muhammadu Buhari for the suspended Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Disaster Management, Betta. The social register was created for cash transfers and other social investment programs. Several firms were awarded contracts from the 3 billion given out to the suspended minister, a release which has now generated controversies and is a subject of probe by presidential investigators and anti-graft agencies. This development also generated negative reactions from Nigerians across social media platforms who described the action of the chief of staff as insensitive towards the present economic hardship common citizens have been subjected to since the current government assumed office in May 2023. Yes, Paul Smith Obasi said it is wrong for the country's political leaders to continue to preach to its citizens to sacrifice while they keep stealing from the public treasury. He also wrote 3 billion for social register verification, and you want the poor amongst us to endure and make sacrifices while your government is busy stealing and looting Nigerians. Are we going to continue to keep mute when very few are living extravagantly with our wealth? 3 billion naira to verify social register, yet they tell the common man to endure hardship while they loot the entire country to stupor. Another user, Foundational Middle Belter, added, according to one Jane, the chief of staff's alleged involvement in the fraud would affect the citizens' confidence in Tinubu's government. Jane said, if people like Gbaja close to the president can perpetrate this corrupt act and get away with it because they are so powerful, more people will lose faith in this government. I wonder what these people take us for. So we need to endure this hardship in order for them to loot us dry. A whole 3 billion naira. Our chief of staff, don't do this one. Why many Nigerians sleep with hunger? It is not funny anymore. Another ex-user says Mr. Gbajabiamila also should be asked to leave his office for proper investigation into the alleged fraud, the way Mrs. Betta was suspended. From the look of this letter, Gbaja is also guilty, and since Betta was suspended, Gbaja should face the law too. Gbaja is obviously known for fraud. No one should exonerate him, and he must be brought to book. This is totally a daylight robbery. This from Nigerians reacting. We will keep saying our own. Gbaja and his cohort at the villa should fear God and not spoil this administration for us. Tinubu can do better, but not with Gbaja as his chief of staff. Nigeria is not a banana republic. These people stealing us dry need to account for their crimes. How can you approve 3.7 billion naira without the president's consent? How? That is reaction from Nigerians. So far, so good. The National Social Register is something that most of the job have been done by an agency, and I don't know why you are going to use 3 billion naira to verify what. We already know the households, the local government affected, the people, less privileged people, unemployed people. We already have the statistics. You can check the National Bureau of Statistics to get these facts right. Why 3 billion naira? I think the chief of staff is in trouble. This is going to test Tinubu's resolve and commitment and integrity to fight corruption. If he starts cleaning his house, then Nigerians will have confidence in him and his government. But if they play politics and something else happens, that means confidence totally will be lost in this presidency from most people who had supported the president, although the president may have fallen short of the support of many Nigerians because of the belief that he is someone that cannot stand and fight corruption. Then if he continues to play politics and Gbaja is not suspended and prosecuted, then it's going to further have more people in the category that don't have confidence in his government and governance.